What's up, guys? This week on All One Auto, we have a few things going on. In last week's video, you guys saw us put the engine in the Chevy Luv. We ran out of time. We were hoping to get it done that day, but it ran into the next couple days of us fiddling around with it. So we have this week of getting the engine running properly, so stay tuned to the end of the video to see how this turned out. Also, this week, we're gonna be doing body work on the Chevy Luv. So last week, during those videos of putting the engine in the second time after we rebuilt the rebuilt engine, you'll notice that we were putting in some of the shots, some of that blue wrap on the front of the truck was coming off just because while people weren't doing anything, we were pulling the wrap off because it is a labor-intensive job. That wrap was baked in the sun, in the North Carolina sun for a while and was a pain to get off. So we are pulling all of the wrap off. The plan for this body work is to do a patina type, maybe a little bit more aggressive than a normal patina because this thing has a lot of imperfections in it for sure. I think a lot of the reason that wrap was on there is to cover up some body work that somebody did. Also, that whole bottom half of the truck is primed in gray, and I don't know what the plan was for them, but I would really like to see if that blue is still under there. We love that blue, that robin egg blue color that truck is in. So after we finish getting this paint back to where we like it and getting the patina where we like it, and getting a few other things done to the truck, we're gonna be using the Vice Grip Garage Wipe On Clear Coat. Vice Grip Garage, we're not a sponsor, but I do love the channel. I've watched it forever since he first started. Especially recently, he's been doing a lot of stuff with his kids, and I just, well, you guys know, I just had a son the other day, so that stuff is really hitting home for me right now. So really interested in all the stuff he's building and really interested to try his product. That's what we're gonna use to seal that paint job up so it can be protected. Once it's done, we need to do all this work and then leave it for a little while so that where we get into bare metal on this thing can get a little orange on it first, so it doesn't just look like it was freshly sanded. I want to get some of that bare metal where we get back into under the primer of this truck to look like we didn't just do it. So we're going to do all this body work, then leave it outside for a few days, get some rust built up on it, and then clear coat the whole thing. At the end of that process, we're gonna take it for a drive and see how it runs, see what else we think we need to do to the thing. If there's anything else we need to do to it, we'll decide then. So we're gonna see where this build takes us. I really do like this truck. I'm trying not to say love. I really do like this truck a lot. I like this truck. Seriously, I might even triple like this truck.
You'd pass this truck a note.
Yeah, like circle yes or no. Do you want to be turned into a drift truck? Circle yes or no. But there's a few other things we're definitely gonna have to do in the future. Like, for example, I am 6'4", and this thing original could barely have a dude 6'4" in it, and somebody's got some aftermarket seats in it that put my head on the ceiling. So there is a couple things we need to do in the future, but I don't know how long away that'll be. I mean, it's going to be very drivable after we're finished with these next couple things we're doing, so we might just leave it there. We'll see. With all that being said, let's get into some body work.
So here's my dilemma. So my main idea with this thing is to take this blue, buff it up a little bit, rough it up a little bit, get this gray back off here, go through, do a couple patches, and then clear coat this pretty blue color it was. And I just thought this wrap would have that blue under there because I saw the blue, like in here you can see it, but somebody painted it black. Now why would you do that?
It's kind of a silly thing to do.
How black that is.
That's.
Oh wait, maybe they just did this spot. There's a little bit of Bondo. I mean, you can hardly see it right there, but you can feel it. I can definitely just tell by feeling it. There's a Bondo in there, and maybe they only primed where they did this Bondo work.
That's a decent wrap job. That's so surprising.
Somebody did do, yeah.
I mean, look at
Quality job on this.
Look at that.
I mean, I've seen some wrap jobs that I thought were.
You thought that's a wrap?
You know who you are.
This truck's gonna look so different without this wrap on the front of it.
Yeah, and I really think it's going to be a good thing.
You think it's gonna be a net positive?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I mean, the blue was nice, but it was too nice.
It's already looking sweet. I love this. Honestly, I really like that.
I'm not a fan of this color on this truck, or on any truck really.
It's a little too blue.
It's a little too blue. It looks good on the review.
You know what it kind of looks like? Your first car. Well, your first car that wasn't a Geo Tracker or a Toyota pickup. Well, your second car, cause
yeah, I had a Firebird.
yeah. Let's hear a little bit about your first car.
My first car ever was a 1996 Geo Tracker.
That's ripping that stuff off quick, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's ripping it right off.
So that's gonna be the last spot we do anyway.
It was 1.6 liters and like 75 horsepower. I lifted it and painted it and did all kind of stuff. I really love that car.
Do you think this is sandable primer?
I don't know. I mean, it's not on there very hard.
What's the difference
I didn't
between regular
wanna-
and sandable?
I think sandable's better. Not clogging up sandpaper, I think it's better.
But my first fast car I've ever had, I had a 1991 Pontiac Firebird. It was very red, had the cool teardrop front end.
It was a nice car.
It was a really
I remember
nice
that car.
It was a solid car, yeah. So my first car, the Geo Tracker, my parents sold my dirt bike that I had. No, they traded my dirt bike. They traded my dirt bike for 2 Geo Trackers. One had been rolled over in the woods and had a good engine and trans in it, and the other one had a blown up engine but a good body.
Yeah, dude. It looks so good.
So, that's kind of looking cool.
It's looking really cool. I'm excited.
It's patchy. So I built the Geo Trackers and painted them and lifted them and did a bunch of cool work to them. And I got one good for my first car when I got my license. And then I sold that to a guy to buy a 1991 Firebird that was red, it was auto, and it was a T-top.
I don't want to get all the black out because there's no way, like all these deep scratches that they primed over, the only way I can get down to that is to get to bare metal and then have a giant bare metal spot there and there and there. So I'm not really into that. I do like this faded look, but I don't want any sharp edges in it. So we're gonna come back with the DA. But I also do like getting into the bare metal here. I like the way that looks. Plus we gotta get this whole lip pretty good, which might not be that bad, just real quick. I want to leave some blue in that lip, try to get as much of that black off as we can.
That thing was a 305 Formula, and I thought, I'm gonna build a 350, but I didn't know anything about cars besides the words, I'm gonna build a 350.
Yep. The first words you learn.
Yeah, the first words you learn in cars is I'm gonna build a 350. At least it used to be. Now it's I'm gonna build an LS, but it used to be I'm gonna build a small block.
What do you think?
Yeah, that makes it look way more intense.
Yeah, let's leave that.
So, I went and got a 76 Malibu Classic, and it was a emissions, low compression, smogged out 350 in that car. And I pulled it, and I thought, you know what I'll do? I'll take the throttle body injection system off my 305, and I'll throttle body inject the Caprice engine.
That's a tough look.
Combo. Yeah, it was bad. It sounded really good. It looked really good. It was a V8, so it was cool. But when I built the engine, I did new rings and bearings and all kind of stuff. I actually had quad exhaust put on it, quad tips. It was sick. And then I raced my dad across the state line. My dad had a 99, I think, or an 01 Subaru Outback 2.5. That's it. It was an Impreza Outback 2.5, and it dusted my 350 I just built. So then I went on the Craigslist at the time.
You realized it wasn't about how many cylinders you have.
I realized that my 8-to-1 compression 350 was a dog, and that I didn't want it anymore. So I was pretty much done, and then I traded it for my first Datsun 280Z. All right, so after some work, we think we've got this engine dialed into where we need it to be. We were working pretty late to get the engine running, so we
we ran out of footage room for the test fires. So we don't have anything to show you guys on the test firing of it, but we do have it fired up now. We think we have the timing dialed in. All we have left to do now is show you guys what the bodywork looks like. So we're gonna take it for a drive, see how this thing's running. The only thing we do have that might be a little interesting is our fuel pump. For some reason, something happened with the wiring on the fuel pump. So this is our wiring on the fuel pump. So before we get going, we're gonna have to plug it in, get some fuel to this thing. If you leave it plugged in for too long, it leaks a little bit, but as long as you stay in the throttle, I think it won't leak it. Just use that fuel.
Keep clearing the bowls.
Keep clearing the bowls. You don't want it to get too much fuel. Somebody in the comments nailed it, actually. Somebody in the comments was like, that engine's probably dry. And I think they were right. I think it was a combination of a few things. We had that pilot bearing that was pretty seized up and seized to the transmission. This is the same transmission, so we're gonna see if the transmission's okay after taking all those hits trying to get it apart. We'll find out. Hopefully it shifts a whole lot better than our old transmission. Our old transmission didn't really like third gear a whole lot, so hopefully this one's a little nicer to us. I do like the red in here though. What do you think, John?
I love it. Red is one of my least favorite colors for a car on pretty much anything, but I love this red. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Being 4th of July, I think it's pretty good that this is red. We got the blue truck.
Blue.
Maybe we'll get some white decals or something for it to get the whole patriotic
That
vibe.
red is really good. It's so clean. I'm kind of tired of talking about it. I'm ready to drive this thing.
Yeah, you ready to drive this thing?
I'm ready to drive this thing.
In weeks.
No, it's been a long time.
It's been a while.
You've been driving it like pretty much every day you could until it blew up.
Yeah, it blew up on its own.
And then it
Don't look into that.
blew up again.
And then it wouldn't start. Which I do think, if it wasn't for everybody watching us now, I probably would have done the hook it to a truck and drop the clutch. All right, let's get to driving this thing.